It was a cold, rainy Tuesday when I hit rock bottom. I was standing in the grocery store checkout line, desperately hoping my debit card wouldn't get declined again. As the cashier ran my card and the dreaded declined message flashed on the screen, my heart sank. That's when it hit me. I was $20,000 in debt. At 25 years old, I was drowning in student loans, credit card bills, and even a personal loan. I felt trapped, suffocated by the weight of my financial mistakes. Something had to change. The reality of my situation was bleak. $20,000 might not seem like a lot to some people, but to me, it felt insurmountable. Dating? Forget about it. Who could think about going out to dinner or planning a weekend getaway when they were drowning in debt? Even simple things like meeting friends for coffee or buying new clothes felt completely out of reach. My debt was controlling my life and I was tired of letting it. One evening, as I scrolled through my social media feed, I stumbled upon a post about a young woman who had paid off over $30,000 of credit card debt in just 2 years. Could I do that too? I clicked on her profile and devoured every post, every article she linked to, every piece of advice she offered. A glimmer of hope ignited within me. If she could do it, maybe I could too. I spent the next few days researching everything I could about personal finance.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy.
The first step was the hardest, facing my financial demons head on. I needed to know exactly how much debt I was in and to whom I owed it. I gathered all my credit card statements, student loan documents, and any other bills I had accumulated. With a heavy heart, I created a spreadsheet listing each debt, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. Seeing the numbers laid out in black and white was a wake-up call. It was terrifying but also strangely liberating. Armed with this newfound awareness, I was ready to tackle my debt with a vengeance. Up until that point, the concept of a budget seemed restrictive and frankly, a little boring. But as I delved deeper into the world of personal finance, I began to see budgeting in a new light. It wasn't about restricting myself, it was about making conscious choices with my money. I decided to try the zero-based budgeting method where you assign every dollar of your income a specific purpose. I was in control, making deliberate decisions about where my money went instead of letting it slip through my fingers. While creating a budget was crucial, I knew that increasing my income was equally important if I wanted to accelerate my debt payoff. My day job provided a steady income, but it wasn't enough to make significant progress on my debt. I had always enjoyed writing, so I started freelancing as a content writer for websites and businesses. The extra income from my side hustles, while not always substantial, made a world of difference. I was actively taking control of my financial future. One of the first things I learned about paying off debt is that small changes can make a big difference. I started packing my lunch every day instead of eating out, brewed my own coffee at home, and found free or low-cost alternatives for entertainment. To my surprise, these small changes added up quickly. I was amazed at how much money I had been wasting on unnecessary expenses. If I could conquer my latte habit, I could conquer my debt. As I continued to track my spending and make extra payments towards my debt, I started to experience the snowball effect. This is a debt repayment strategy where you focus on paying off your smallest debt first, while making minimum payments on all your other debts. Once the smallest debt is paid off, you take the money you were putting towards it and apply it to the next smallest debt, and so on. The idea is that as you pay off each debt, your momentum and motivation grow, like a snowball rolling downhill. Within a couple of months, I had paid off that first debt, and I felt a surge of excitement and accomplishment. Of course, no debt repayment journey is complete without a little debate. I discovered that there's another popular debt repayment strategy, the debt avalanche method. This method involves tackling the debt with the highest interest rate first, regardless of the balance. Ultimately, I decided to stick with the debt snowball method. I knew that staying motivated was crucial for me, and the psychological wins of paying off debts quickly would keep me going. The road to debt freedom wasn't always easy. There were countless times when I was tempted to stray from my budget to indulge in a little retail therapy or splurge on a night out with friends, but every time I felt tempted to give up, I reminded myself why I started this journey in the first place. I visualized myself debt-free, financially secure, and living a life of freedom and possibility. And slowly, but surely, I began to see the light at the end of the tunnel. For months I had been chipping away at my debt, diligently following my budget, and picking up extra shifts whenever possible. Then, one ordinary Tuesday afternoon, as I sat down to review my finances, something incredible happened. I realized that I had reached the halfway point. I had paid off $10,000 of debt. A wave of emotion washed over me, relief, excitement, and a sense of accomplishment. That moment was a turning point in my journey. As my debt-free journey progressed, I learned the importance of setting boundaries and prioritizing my financial goals. This often meant saying no to things I might have previously said yes to, like last-minute invitations to go out, impulse purchases, or lending money to friends and family. At first, it was uncomfortable to decline offers and disappoint people, but as I became more comfortable with my financial priorities, I realized that saying no to things that didn't align with my goals was a form of self-care. It was about honoring my commitment to myself and my financial well-being. One of the most unexpected benefits of my debt-free journey was the discovery of minimalism. As I became more conscious of my spending habits, I began to question the things I truly valued in life. I started decluttering my apartment, selling or donating items I no longer used or needed. Embracing minimalism wasn't about deprivation. It was about simplifying my life and focusing on experiences and relationships that brought me true joy. And the best part, it saved me money. Paying off debt can often feel like a solitary pursuit, a silent struggle waged behind the scenes of everyday life. While I was fortunate to have the support of my family and close friends, not everyone fully understood the magnitude of what I was undertaking or the daily sacrifices I was making. Sometimes I felt like a lone runner, steadily pounding the pavement mile after mile, while the rest of the world sped by, seemingly oblivious to my efforts. There were moments of doubt, of wondering if I was being too extreme, too laser-focused on my goal. It was a lonely road at times, and I yearned for connection, for someone who truly understood the challenges and triumphs of this journey. In the age of social media, it's all too easy to fall into the comparison trap, especially when it comes to finances. As I scrolled through my feeds, I couldn't help but compare myself to others. Friends who were traveling the world, buying new homes, or indulging in expensive hobbies. It was easy to feel like I was falling behind, that my journey was somehow harder or less glamorous than theirs. I had to remind myself that everyone's financial journey is unique, and there's no one-size-fits-all timeline for success. I had to learn to celebrate my own progress, no matter how small, and focus on my own definition of success, not someone else's. Just when I thought I had a handle on my finances and was making steady progress towards my debt-free goal, life threw me a curveball. My car, which was already on its last legs, decided to give up entirely. The repairs were costly, far exceeding what I had set aside in my emergency fund. I was devastated. All my hard work, all the sacrifices I had made, seemed to crumble before my eyes. But then, I remembered something I had read early on in my debt-free journey. Setbacks are a part of life, but they don't have to derail your progress. It wasn't easy, but I got through it, and the experience made me even more resilient and determined to reach my financial goals. While paying off debt can feel like a solitary pursuit, it doesn't have to be. As I continued on my journey, I realized the importance of finding my tribe, a community of like-minded individuals who understood the challenges and triumphs of pursuing financial freedom. I joined online forums, listened to podcasts, and attended local workshops, eager to connect with others who were on a similar path. Sharing my story, both the highs and the lows, with people who understood what I was going through was incredibly empowering. It reminded me that I wasn't alone in this journey, and that there were others who had faced similar obstacles and emerged victorious. The support and encouragement I received from my online and in-person communities became invaluable, providing me with motivation, accountability, and a sense of belonging. Looking back on the past year, I'm amazed at how far I've come. Paying off $20,000 in debt wasn't easy, but it was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the lessons I learned and the person I became. I discovered a strength and resilience I didn't know I possessed. I learned the power of discipline and making conscious choices with my money. Financial freedom is about having options and peace of mind. It's about living a life of intentionality, where your spending aligns with your values. And it's a journey, not a destination. I'm empowered to make informed decisions and create a secure financial future. True wealth lies in experiences, relationships, and a life filled with purpose. One of the most unexpected outcomes of my debt-free journey has been the opportunity to pay it forward by sharing my story and empowering others. I started small, sharing tips and resources with friends and family. To my surprise, my story resonated with people. They were inspired by my journey and eager to learn. Financial literacy is a gift I'm passionate about sharing. Everyone deserves the freedom and peace of mind that come with financial security. I'm committed to advocating for financial education and providing accessible resources. A year ago, I was stuck. The weight of $20,000 in debt held me back from so many dreams. Today I stand here, debt-free, and the view from here is incredible. It wasn't always easy, but it was worth every sacrifice. Remember that feeling I described, standing in the grocery store checkout line, hoping my card wouldn't get declined? That feeling is gone, replaced with a sense of confidence and control I never thought possible. Now, I can walk into a store and buy the things I need without a second thought. More importantly, I can pursue my passions, invest in my future, and give back to my community in ways I could only have dreamed of before. Financial freedom isn't about becoming a millionaire overnight or living a life of luxury. It's about having choices. It's about the freedom to pursue your passions, to weather life's storms without financial worry, and to build a secure future for yourself and your loved ones. It's about aligning your spending with your values and using your money as a tool to create the life you want, not just the life you settle for. That's the beauty of this journey. It's uniquely yours. Your goals, your dreams, your definition of financial freedom, these are the things that will guide you and keep you motivated every step of the way. If I can do it, you can too. You are capable of amazing things. Take that first step, even if it's just creating a budget or setting a small savings goal. Celebrate every victory, no matter how small. Remember that setbacks are a part of the process, but they don't have to define your journey. Surround yourself with a supportive community. Find mentors who inspire you, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Most importantly, believe in yourself and your ability to achieve financial freedom. Your journey starts today. It starts with a decision to take control of your finances and your future. It starts with believing that you are worthy of financial security and that it is within your reach. Take that first step and never stop reaching for your dreams. The future is yours to create.